Hello, everyone. My name is Keya Mehta, and today I'm going to be talking about the European Union Artificial Intelligence Act. So, overall, my opinion on this act is pretty positive. I do believe it's one of the first major attempts by a government body to create rules for I do believe it's necessary to address the risks that come with AI, as AI has been shown to come with many risks. I also like that it uses a risk based approach. So the act kind of categorizes the different types of risks and then gives recommendations based off of that category. The only issue I do see coming up in the future is that it will require updates as AI evolves. AI right now is in its very early stages and is ever changing. And so if the act doesn't update as AI changes, the act will basically be useless. So, next, I'll be going over a couple of the key components of the AI Act. So, firstly, we have the AI risk classification system, then we have the prohibited AI practices, then we have requirements for high risk AI systems, and then lastly, the AI governance. So, when it comes to the AI risk classification system, the Act has basically split up the risks into four categories, which are unacceptable risk, high risk, limited risk, and minimal risk. So, unacceptable risk include things like social scoring, manipulative AI, certain biometric surveillance, and exploitation of vulnerable groups. Then for high risk, we have things such as AI in healthcare, in hiring and employment, in education, and in law enforcement. Then for limited risk, we have things such as AI chatbots and deepfakes. And then for minimal risk, we have things such as AI in video games. Then another big key component of this act are the prohibited AI practices. So these are the practices that fall under the unacceptable risks, and these are completely banned. And the reason behind this is to help protect privacy, prevent discrimination, and preserve human autonomy, which all of these things I think are great. Then another big component is the requirements for the high risk AI. So these requirements look like risk management, high quality data, having human oversight, lots of transparency, technical documentation, cybersecurity protections, and continuous monitoring. Then we have our AI governance. So, a big part of the Act talks about different organizations such as the European AI Office, European AI Board, National AI authorities, and then expert advisory groups. And basically, these organizations will help provide guidance, coordinate enforcement, monitor risks, and ensure that the AI Act is applied consistently across all EU member nations. Then it also helps require each EU country to establish its own national authority to enforce the law and serve as a point of contact for AI related issues. Then we have our stakeholder and cybersecurity impact. So for citizens, I think it's going to be great because it's going to offer better privacy protections. It'll give us fairer, safer AI systems and a lot more transparency. For businesses, there might be a little bit of a negative impact, but I think it'll do a lot of overall good. And this looks like things such as increased compliance requirements, higher development costs, and more accountability. And then on the cybersecurity front, we are looking at things such as stronger security standards, reduced AI vulnerabilities, and better risk management. So, overall, my evaluation is still very positive. There are a lot of strengths, such as providing a strong foundation for responsible AI, protection against harmful AI uses, and better security and transparency. Then, the potential cons, like I mentioned earlier, it needs to adapt as AI technology changes. And then, compliance should remain applicable for smaller organizations. A lot of smaller organizations can't afford to enforce the same recommendations that the Act suggests. And so I think that it should be a lot more flexible or consider smaller organizations. And that's my overall opinion. Thank you so much.